Perfect. More fabric is on the way. When did it say the fabric was to be delivered?
Were you expecting something?
I wish fabric stores guaranteed delivery while husbands are away.
Okay, I haven't done this in a few weeks. My attention grabbing thing that it's time for another week at Fabric Utopia. Let me begin first by thanking everyone who in the last week gave me more of their projects. There's been some really nice projects sent to us. I haven't got them up on the website yet, but I will. And if you notice, I kept my promise last week, and all the previous ones I do have up on our website. So all of you can take a look at all the wonderful projects people are doing with these fabrics. Okay, we have 3 new quilt kits this week, and we'll go through each of these. 2 of them, actually, we have 4 quilt kits. I can't count, but 2 of them come from the same collection. And that collection is from Eileen Boutique, Crazy for Daisies. This is a queen size or small or...
Small queen, full size.
Right.
It's 86 inches square. This one is called Summer Burst. This pattern is by Sarah Guerrera from Our Crafty Life. And this one uses stitch and flip techniques.
I'm glad you're saying that.
That's a tongue twister for sure. But this has got, it's really interesting how they turn the blocks and the colors to get the designs in this kit. We're going to take a look at the fabrics in these later, but they're just beautiful colors.
And this next up is a throw quilt from the same collection.
That's right. It's called Burst of Daisies, and it's got a pretty simple pattern behind it, but as you can see, it's got lots of daisy petals on the top, and those are fusible. Well, it's raw edge applique, but we do include the fusible backing, so you have everything to complete the top of your quilt. And this one, I think, is a real pretty quilt for a little girl or even a baby. It's fun.
All right, next up is from Timeless Treasures. This is the collection name is Hacienda, and this is by one of their main designers, and her first name is Chong, but I'm not even going to try to do the full name. I'll mess it up. But she's known for having a lot of vibrant colors in her fabric collections. And Amber, you want to tell us a little more?
Sure. This one is a really interesting pattern. It's called Rosetta by Tourmaline and Time, and I believe it's 64 inches square. And if you can see this here, the main black area in the center is one piece of fabric, and then around it you have a couple borders that are set on point to give it that unique diamond shaped look. But what's interesting is that middle part is all applique. They show it as raw edge applique. You can do fusible or however suits your fancy, but all those pieces are set on there with applique, and it makes it look like a stained glass effect with all the bright colors in this kit. It just really sets it off, and it's so pretty.
All right, and the last quilt kit is Nightmare at Halloween. And if any of you remember Alexander Henry from a couple of years back, they kind of went defunct, but they had very, very unique and especially Halloween fabrics. This is along the same kind of line. This is not a children's Halloween fabric, so don't think you're going to put this in your little girl's room, but it is a very unique collection from Michael Miller. Amber, you want to tell us a little more?
Yeah, this kit has a center panel, which we're going to take a look at downstairs because it's pretty cool. But I think the kit itself is only 38 by 48. It's a very small wall hanging. Has a couple small just strip borders, and then a pieced diamond shaped border on the outside. See if we could take a look at that really quick. There you can see the diamonds. Those are pieced around the panel, so it's a fairly quick and easy project for you.
All right, we're about ready to head downstairs and take a look at all of this. I'll tell you real quick what's coming up next is with the panel of the week is very unique. Usually our panel of the week has a picture of something, and this is used, and Amber and Sue will explain that more about how it's really used to build other things. And 4 other collections, very diverse collections. We have Halloween fabric, a floral fabric, a nautical fabric, and a science fabric. And it's been a while since we've had a science fabric, and till I got roped into this with my wife in quote retirement, I was a scientist for many years, so I really like the science fabrics, and this one is no exception. And I'm glad to see we got some more in. So let's take another look at those.
Okay, here we are with our panel of the week. And this week we have a treat for you. We have a finished sample. This is Splendid Path by Studio E. And we have a cute little table topper that Roz made for us. If you've been in the store to shop, Roz has probably helped you pick out stuff or cut your order. And this looks like a pretty complicated pattern here, but wait till you see where it came from.
It started out just like this. And the thing is, to make a table topper or blanket or quilt or whatever, you don't need any other fabric. Now you'll notice that Roz's project has some extra fabric for the binding and the border and for the backing. But with this one, you don't need anything else. The way that you cut the circles and the dots, is that what it's called? Dots and holes? The way that you cut the dots and holes, and then the way that you put it around and arrange it gives you several options. And you can do 1 panel and make a table topper, or you can do 3 or 4 panels and make a larger quilt. What's fun is, yesterday as I was sewing, I saw a tutorial for Drunkard's Path, and lo and behold, you can lay this out in Drunkard's Path, and all you've done is cut your circles, your dots and holes in quarters, and you arrange them accordingly, and you don't have to do the fussy sewing around a curve or the fussy cutting around a curve. This is really cool the way this works. And then if you want, we do have a companion fabric that you could use for your backing. The flowers are not as densely packed as what you see on the panel, but they would make a great backing. And then you can choose all kinds of blenders or solids to really make the colors jump. So that's our panel of the week, is Dots and Holes, Splendid Path from Studio E. So there's the panel.
Great. And can you tell us a little bit about how we cut those up?
Yes.
Or how we make them into this is the cool part about it.
This is the cool part about it, is you cut and this is a free pattern on our website.
That's
so
right.
You won't have any trouble finding a pattern to utilize this. But you cut the fabric, you fussy cut the different squares, and it gives exact dimensions for where you want to cut, and then you cut them in fourths, making sure you have a good 90-degree angle. And then when you trim down to the 4 inches, you measure from inside, from the 90-degree angle inside, and trim out the extra. Then all you do is move it around in the layout that you want.
That's
and
right.
You've got several options, and it shows you here. This is the one that Roz made.
And that took 1 panel.
That's 1 panel. 3 panels will give you this, 49 by 56, and 4 panels will give you 56 by 70. And that's just the garden path version. A diagonal set, and this shows just a table runner. You can get 2 table runners out of 1 panel, and it shows you a layout for a couple of different table runner layouts. But this is the diagonal set. You can follow the diagonal that goes this way, and this one takes up to 4 panels depending on what size you need. And then the Drunkard's Path, there's 1 panel, 3 panels, and 4 panels. That gives you a 56-inch square. Isn't this cool? And this is another one. This just takes 2 panels, and it's a 12 by 12 blocks, 42-inch square. And the pattern here is Morning Dove, but you can see a little bit more of the floral too. So
yeah, it's like a sampler.
it's got all kinds options available to you. And I love the fact that this drunkard's path doesn't require you fussy cutting or fussy sewing. You just cut them up and sew them back together. Isn't that what quilting is? Cutting
Yeah.
it up and sewing it back together.
Well, this is certainly something that I would never attempt in the traditional method myself. But this makes it seem a whole lot easier
Oh,
and
Yeah,
easy
a little
to
more
do.
accessible. Yeah,
Yes.
to have a drunkard's path quilt that you didn't get drunk trying to fix.
Okay, let's take a look at this very spooky panel, and I get to hide behind it and hide behind the witch, which is pretty eerie.
This is the panel from Nightmare at Halloween, and just look at those witches' faces. They're pretty creepy. This is one of the most, I mean, the rest of it's kind of cool, the bats and the trees, and there's even a little skull up in that little flourish section, but the witches and that's pretty scary. So up next, I promised you a closer look at the batiks from the Crazy for Daisies line. And these colors, they're not really pastel, but they're not vibrant colors either. They're just a beautiful rainbow. We've got some daisy prints. We've got some little leaf type things. More daisies. That one looks kind of washed out, but it's a light bluish purple color. I think this is my favorite print here. It actually has the daisies in it. This greenish blue one has a nice different design in it. And then we're back to some more daisies with the peach, green leaves, and the whole flowers again with the purple. So just a beautiful collection. Okay, here we are with Christina as our helper this round. This is called Florinda by Blank Quilting, and this panel's got a lot going on. We got a couple watering cans with some flowers, whole bunches of flowers, sunflowers, couple different birds, the birdhouse. There's a butterfly up there. I mean, it's beautiful, but there's a lot of stuff in here. And it's got a cute little green and purplish bias check border there, and that carries over into the collection as well. We have that fabric as a coordinate. There's a paisley fleur-de-lis type thing with some purpley blues in it. Oh, we also have a tote bag pattern, which is kind of cool. It's got that in a lighter shade. Christina's going to get that out for me. But we have a lot of florals in here. We have the border print, that's upside down again. Some roses, daisies, some other stuff.
Okay, so it's the same as the panel for one, and then it's the paisley for the other.
Yeah, just a lighter shade of it.
Yeah.
With that bias again, and it looks like that's the ties maybe.
The snap straps.
Yeah, so that's really pretty, and it's not quite springy. I'd say this is definitely summer. It's giving me summer vibes right now. But down here we've got some hydrangeas, some pink hydrangeas. I don't know what those are. Pretty flowers. We've got some cute little butterflies. This is a bigger print with everything in it kind of all jumbled together, some birds, all the different flowers. Here's a smaller version of all the flowers with some butterflies, another blue kind of tone on tone print, and some sunflowers. So just a lovely floral collection with a panel, a border print, and the cute bag. Okay, here's a fun new collection we have called Science Lab. This is by Blank Quilting, and science pretty much says it all. We have some graph paper, we have some atoms, we have some beakers and test tubes, a microscope, some little atoms in little, or molecules maybe in little things. It's been a long time since I've had science, so I forget what all these things are called. This one's got some of the the elements on it and their numbers. We also have some more formulas down here, more with the different molecules. So yeah, just a fun little collection, and the colors in this are really nice. They're whites, light blue, some green and gray. To me, this brings to mind a little boy quilt, but it's also kind of subtle. Unlike some of these that we have here that are really bright and bold and in your face, this one's a more subtle approach to science, so it gives it a unique perspective. This collection is called Bittersweet 2, and we still have a couple of the quilt kits left from I believe it was last year's collection, called Jumping Jack. There's a cute little ghost on it and some kind of abstract designs on it. But this is a really fun collection. It's Halloween meets art meets fun. We have a running yardage here with a couple little ghosties. There are a couple transparent ones. I like this guy with the red smiley face. We also have a pumpkin blossom print, a green like watercolor watermarked print, and a blue and a purple that I don't have shown. And then the rest of the collection is mostly panels. This one is two ghosts. I don't know, it's called Job Interview. To me, it looks like they're reading on a Kindle. And the way this one is set up, I think you could probably cut it in half here at the gate and make like two smaller things. In fact, I think that might be what I'm gonna do. This one is a panel again. It's a moon, the gates, and some really giant pumpkins. So this one is a little more fallish and not as ghosty. Gives you a harvest moon. And this one is awesome. It's got the big ghost on it again, some pumpkins, but he's got a sign that says he's calling a strike, and he's dreaming of the beach. Now, I'm not sure how well he would last on the beach there, if he'd get a suntan or what would happen to his sheet there. Maybe that's why he's got his umbrella. But this is just a really fun collection. It's different than a lot of the Halloween things we see. It's bright colors, big, artful looking designs. So check it out. Okay, here we are for the last section, and I've got Cheyenne holding it up for me today. This is Let Your Light Shine by Timeless Treasures. They have quite a few nautical prints. This one's got a lighthouse, some seagulls, and a boat. And if we can look at the rest of the collection, we've got some seagulls, a print that has different boat type magazine stuff on it, some water, sand dollars, more shells, a cute little stripe. That's the panel. We've got another water one, some shells in blue, and then these three aren't part of the collection, but they sure look like they could go with it and are real popular sellers. This one, in fact, we sell quite a bit of. So just because summer's coming to an end doesn't mean that we don't still have summery stuff available. Let's go see what Ruby's up to now.
Okay, we're going to end this week with Ruby the shop dog, who's just been really antsy tonight. In fact, I've got a treat. She said, I don't work for free, I want something. And so that'll end it for this week at Fabric Utopia this week. And like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.